All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Foreman Media Outlet, as I'm going to be known, at least for today. The DY Guy Plus, Raw Law, we have lots of different names. Just to get it out of the way, I really did not want to talk about this. Like, people don't understand. When I tweet this stuff out, sometimes it may feel a certain way because you read dry words, right, on a piece of paper. But the reality is, I am simply voicing my frustrations with the system that is kind of in place. And basically, this is what happened. For those of you unfamiliar, um, I yesterday I was marked as a media person. I had a media badge and everything. And then somebody from the mainstream media spoke up and said he doesn't deserve one. And I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. Take it away. I don't give a shit. I talked about it, I laughed about it. Haha, we move on. Now today I went to go pick up my public badge. I didn't even say anything. I was like, "Oh, hey Norma, I didn't get in touch with you. Did you get a chance to talk to your CEO? No, cool. Okay, whatever. Talk to them whenever you get a chance. Don't worry about it." I figured they would forget about me and that would be the end of it. And I would have been a happy camper. That would have been like the best way to go about it. Just leave it alone. But no, they couldn't leave it alone. They had to send me this email, which read, "Good morning, Mr. Foreman. Since you are not a representative of a formal media outlet, you can suck a fuck. We are not letting you have a media badge. And we put you on the public member list. You may visit the court's website for this." Like, and the rest of it, the email is just like such trash. I even ran into her like in the courthouse. She could have like been a person about it. Like, people forget I'm a human, you're a human. Can we talk like humans? Like people? No. We are going to create this misnomer. And by the way, I wish she never sent this to me. I really do, because I don't want to be drug into this bullshit. I don't care. I'm not interested. I'm there to do a job. I'm here to have some fun, looking at the jury. It's a very serious case. I'm not saying it's fun in the sense it's a murder trial. I'm saying it's fun because it's interesting, because I get to see a jury. I get to watch lawyers work. I get to learn what not to do, what to do, that sort of thing. Even the jury is fairly cheerful. Um, but when you send me this bullshit and you're like, you know what, we have looked into it and we decided we don't care how much like overreach you have, who you are, and what you've done. How about you just sit in your corner because you're not a formal media outlet? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where I have a very serious fucking issue with. Because if, even if, they had in the courtroom, they had the NBC and KYT and blah, 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 and KYTBS and ABCDG and whatever the fuck these media outlets. And I was the only one like independent. And even still, even as an independent, what is this? What is a formal? Is it like a recognized media outlet? And if so, what does that mean? What is a formal one? All of that can be like talked about, right? But here's the bottom line: your own backyard. And I don't mean to single you out, Chris. I fucking love you. I finally got a chance to meet you. You're cool as shit. You drank the Kool-Aid. You're sitting with the cool kids at NBC Dateline. I get it. I understand. For you, it's like moment. Like, oh my God, I've made it. I'm like, your name was thrown around in the court today like 15 billion times. Questions being asked on from the witness about how she interviewed with you and whatnot, or you interviewed her. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking rock star. You're a superstar, Chris. You're amazing. I even asked him yesterday. I was like, dude, are you like working through all this? How are you making money? He's living off of donations. Go and donate to him. I'm going to be donating to this guy. Why? Because he fucking deserves it. He's doing God's work. When you do God's work, it pays off. So keep doing it, Chris. But Ms. fucking court clerk, I have an issue with. Norma and your CEO, that's who I have a problem with. Because you are like, okay, Chris, yes, you can be with your own personal podcast. You are now classified, according to that email, as a formal media outlet. Now, no offense to Chris, I don't think he meets their definition of a formal media outlet. So I don't even care that he has it. Again, let him keep it. Please make him a fucking super media if you can. I don't give a shit. What I have an issue is when you're hypocritical and you start arbitrarily using titles to give certain people certain rights and depriving other people of other certain rights. That's where I have a problem. That's where you fucked up, court clerk and her CEO. That's where you fucked up. When you take a title and you say you can be that title, but you don't meet that title with zero justification, zero reasoning. That's the only thing. That's all I wanted to say about that. I was, talking about like, I have a lawsuit for discrimination. They arbitrarily singled me out as a non-formal media outlet. Like, I actually have a cause of action. I never thought I'd say those words before in my fucking life. I said blood will be spilled on Twitter. It's how I felt at the time. Am I actually going to go after him? Probably not. But I noticed a very, very, very vast shift after I tweeted that. The whole, like, word spreads like wildfire. I tweeted something, 25 minutes later, I'm back in court and everybody's giving me the stink eye. And I'm just like, okay, everybody knows. I'm like, holy fucking hell. Word spreads like wildfire. It's amazing. So let's get into the meat, okay? The meat of the case. We had a very, half was really boring and the second half was holy shitballs, back to boring. So here's what happened. Today, by the way, the Mr. Ruben Flores' attorney's name is Mr. Misik, which reminded me, I don't know if you all watch Rick and Morty, reminded me of Mr. Meeseeks. You all remember that blue character that like has to be given tasks, and if he doesn't, he's just like gets very upset. And then it was like the off-brand red Mr. Meeseeks. They were just fantastic. By the way, welcome Carrie to the Holy Grails. I think it was the Holy Grails. And Tom N, welcome. He says, I preach your channel to everyone I know. Don't talk, don't walk, don't blow. Make them fight for blood. Oh yeah, rock and fucking roll. I also released another video today. I know people have been asking, are you going to be releasing more? Yes. I've actually been, towards the end, I was so bored out of my skull, I started creating titles for the videos I'm going to be releasing. So we have a bunch of stuff coming in. I mean, I think I have like 6 or 7 videos I can make from that trial, because we had like 1, 2, 3. We had 4 witnesses, and we had openings, closings, voir dire. So there's like there you go. There's like 7 videos right there. So it's going to be lots and lots of fun. Yeah. So I called her a blood tech, I think, on accident on Twitter. She's not, because in the beginning I was very confused as to who she is, because she was called out of order. She's just a crime lab tech, not a blood, because we just heard about blood stain evidence in dirt, and now all of a sudden we have like a tech, and I'm like, oh, so she's gonna like fill in the gap of everything we missed. No, she was talking about fabric that they found. Now, can I just preface this by saying, if I was the prosecutor, I would have never called this fucking witness to the stand, ever. She brought nothing to the prosecution. She brought nothing to the defense, except the defense, as you will see in a moment, what the hell they did to this poor woman. She didn't add to the case at all. Just because she has something that could potentially be useful, like she could compare like the stuff that she found or they gave her to like analyze with like this stuff over here, and she can compare and contrast and be like, yes, it's the same stuff, or go, no, it is completely different stuff. But because there was no body to compare it to, like it was completely fucking useless. It was completely pointless and meaningless. And half a day went to waste for the prosecution, in my humble opinion. I would have never put that person on the stand. So she's a trace evidence analyst. What does it mean? Trace, like you know how you have trace something, some trace of something, very, very, very little, microscopic almost, right? Very, very small in size. This woman has nearly 50 years experience, though. That was a fucking zinger. She's getting ready to retire. She made a few like old age jokes, and it went over really, really well. But the people absolutely loved her. Melissa Beard, this is the. Have you not seen the thumbnail? People are asking like, "What case is this? What case is this?" This is Kristen Smart. Is it? Did you guys not see the thumbnail? I'm sorry if you didn't, but it's in the thumbnail. So, as she testifies about her training experience, the process for analyzing trace evidence, every juror is alert, paying attention. About 20 minutes in, or actually more than that, I think what time did we? Yeah, we started at 11:30, didn't we? Or 10:30. We started. It was a late start today because the judge has like a felony docket on Thursdays. I think Tuesdays and Thursdays they start late. Anyway, so but I wasn't here on Tuesday. So the expert gets certified about 20 minutes in. And there was a moment, and I tweeted about this. I didn't tweet much today because I realized people are not so interested in this trial. I'm losing followers as I'm tweeting about it because people are like, this is dumb. I don't want to hear about this. So I figured, you know what, I'll just make a video. So 98% of these notes that I'm reading right now are nowhere else to be found, only on this video. But I did tweet this out just because it bothered the piss out of me. There was a moment when this witness, her name is Springer, by the way. Springer, Faye Springer. Springer is referring to her notes, and you're going, the Sanger, Paul Flores' attorney, objects. And I'm like, hey, welcome back, Planning Magical Chaos. She is I think this hits home because she's somewhere around here, like not here, but like near the Bay Area where this case happened. She has a very personal vested interest. So welcome back. We will be doing one this weekend, Rita. I have my thumb people on it. We'll be reading Curious George Gets a Job. All right, so Sanger objects, and he's like, Your Honor, I want to know what notes is Ms. Springer reading? Like, I don't believe we've been provided these notes. Immediately, without missing a fucking beat, the prosecutor goes, these notes were provided a year ago. And the whole room just like sighs. Like, you can hear the heaviness. You're just like, oh, dear God. Oh, man, this guy. I swear, his level of unpreparedness, and I get it. He said something along the lines of, witnesses are being called out of order, and we don't know what this is, and blah, blah, blah. But there's such a much better way to approach the situation. Simply go, Your Honor, may we approach? And do it quietly. When you let the entire world know about how much of a fuck up you are, it doesn't add to the credibility of your case, of your credibility as a person. It's okay to fuck up. I'm sure I have fucked up in my own jury trials. I just will never admit it because I'm an egotistical fucking maniac. But Do it privately. Approach the judge, be like, Your Honor, I don't believe that we have been provided this. Yes, you have been provided it. When was it provided? Can I check my computer, Your Honor? Can we have a 15-minute recess? Yeah, no problem. Go ahead. Let's take a recess, blah, blah, blah. And then they go and then they do, and then they call it a day. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Instead, this motherfucker announces to the world, like, I don't have it. Oh, and then he says he finds it. He goes, never mind. Yes, I do. I have it. And then he apologizes to everybody in the room, the court, the jury, the fucking witness, the prosecutor, his own team, us, the audience, everybody in the room. He's like, I'm sorry. I want to take complete responsibility. Like, for fuck's sake, man. Like, get your shit together. I know you're in your 70s. So if you can't get your shit together, maybe you shouldn't be practicing law. Like, maybe it's okay. It's okay. And maybe your time has come to, like, hang up, put down your shingle and call it a day. I don't know. I just vomit. I wrote, like, I have secondhand embarrassment because I'm a criminal defense attorney, and you're really making us look terrible. And I don't have notes for like 35 minutes here. Basically because I'm like, what is the purpose of this? Like, all she talked about was like fabric pieces that they found at the scene. Well, fabric comes off other people. It's not just like Kristen Smart was the only one wearing clothes in the last 26 years around the house. Paul, Rubin, all these police officers, investigators, detectives, and all that, analysts, lab analysts, blah, blah, blah. They were all wearing fabric that could have fallen off. I mean, we're talking microscopic, And he even pointed out there's a vent. There's a fucking vent of where lint flies out of, a dryer vent. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. This is ridiculous. It was a waste of time. Like, half a day just went to complete waste. And again, there's a pattern. They're just, as soon as Singer got up there to start his cross-examination, the jurors kind of all look down and they're like, oh boy, here we go, kind of thing. They appreciate his honesty. I have noticed. Okay, I can't ding him nonstop, because today there were several times when he made like a little joke or something, and he can lighten up and liven up the room. Just a lot of times his timing is so off. But today he did okay. A couple of times they were just kind of like laughing with him and having listening to him, paying attention. But as soon as he gets up there, one yawns. This is only like 11:37 in the morning. One face palms, and he begins fumbling throughout his cross-examination. It was quite uneventful. Right before lunch, this is like 11:57, like minutes before the judge calls out for lunch, several jurors are seen falling asleep and struggling to stay awake, including myself. I was falling asleep too. I'm no stranger, I'm no different. I'm a human being. And we break for lunch. 1:25, we're back in the courtroom. Alternate jurors. Oh, alternate jurors. Okay, so this is fascinating. This I should probably also tweet. I'm going to make a little mark for myself here. Alternate jurors. I am not familiar with this concept. This is completely new for me. So in Kentucky, okay, let me tell you about my home state, how I'm used to it. Let's say you have a jury of, or actually, wait a minute. What am I doing? I have a much better example. The Johnny Depp trial. Y'all remember the Johnny Depp trial where we had 9 jurors and only 7 went back? Why did we have 9 jurors? We had 9 jurors because we wanted to, just in case somebody gets sick, somebody gets ill, somebody passes away, somebody can't come, somebody can whatever, like, and they miss testimony, right? Thank you, Jessa. So why did we had two alternates, right? Well, these alternates are not named. It's not like, okay, you're juror 1 and you're juror 2 and then you're juror 7 and you're alternate juror number 1 and you're alternate juror number 2. Why don't you do that? The answer is very simple. Because the alternate jurors have zero vested interest in paying attention and listening to the testimony like everybody else. Zero. Because they're like, I'm a maybe, I'm a possibly to go back to deliberate. I'm not guaranteed after sitting here for 3 months to go back. Well, in Johnny Depp's case, it was 6 weeks. This case is going to be going on for about 3 months. It's quite disturbing because here at the Kristen Smart murder trial, we have 32 jurors left, 12 and 12 plus alternates on each side. And I noticed something. The judge kept saying the words, we have our jurors and our alternates. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. But then I noticed when they, in their seats, it actually says like alternate juror number 1, alternate juror number 2, alternate juror number 3, alternate juror number 4. And I'm like, what the fuck? The alternates know who they are. You know you're an alternate. From the beginning of this case, back in like June 6th, when they were starting jury selection. That is insane. Twitter told me chaos. That is insane. Thank you, Anne. I don't like that. Like, I don't like it at all because if I'm alternate juror, let's say number, I don't know, 9, or, well, it goes up to 8, right? I'm alternate juror number 8. Like, my chances of getting in to decide this case are pretty much 0.5%. Why would I listen? Why would I care? I'm starting to realize why some of these jurors are not taking notes. I think they are the marked alternates. They don't care. They're like, oh, God. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But that's the impression I'm getting. Exactly, Jen. If I'm alternate juror number 8, I'm not going to start paying attention until I realize that I'm the last one to replace, like, and it could be like day 97 of testimony, and tomorrow is closing arguments, and they lose the last one, and the last alternate takes the place or whatever. And now you're like, oh shit, I haven't been listening for the last 96 days. Can we start over, Your Honor? Can we mulligan, or can I get the tapes or whatever? Like, I don't know. I like the alternates not knowing who the alternates are, or the jury not knowing who because they all have to listen. And then in Kentucky, they do the same thing. They pick you up randomly. Same thing they did in Virginia. It's all random. At the end, you just like pick a couple numbers. You're out. Goodbye. And you're like, oh, it sucks. It's a terrible feeling, but it's fair. And you don't want to start over, so that's why you have alternates, to make sure that you always have a jury of the right amount of people. So, for about, I don't know, what felt like fucking eternity, but it was probably closer to 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Sanger is grilling Springer on like the fabric stuff and this and that, and showing photos of people wearing clothes around this crime scene and could it have been contaminated? But there was one question that the prosecutor asked her in the beginning. He said, Ms. Singer, can you assign a value to the fiber evidence? That was the exact question. Can you assign value to the fiber evidence? And she said, no, I cannot. And there was a few jokes about her, like, this is, I've been doing this 50 years, I'm retiring. So she's like, she's done with the shit pretty much. Mr. Meeseek asks her, he goes, because this is how he prefaces it. Since I know that this has been in your 50-year career and your impending retirement, I have one question for you. And everybody's just like, oh, thank God. You can hear this in the room, kind of thing, the vibe. I have one question for you, he says. You said on direct examination that you cannot assign any value to the fiber evidence that you have analyzed, correct? She says, correct. No, I cannot. He literally looks at the judge and goes, no further questions, and bon voyage to you. He literally just like fucking called her out in court. So everything you said was useless, and I wish you luck. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Boom. Now, that's not the explosion I've been talking about. We're going to get to that in a moment. That's the second witness, who's Jennifer Hudson. I even wrote, this is where I wrote, I don't feel like this witness has done literally anything at all. No further questions. One question. You said yourself. Boom. Get in, get out. I like Mr. Meeseek. Mr. Meeseek, thank you, Jerry. Mr. Meeseek is is a solid fucking fella. He understands his job. Now, also, I guess he feels that like his job is maybe a lot lighter because he's representing Ruben and his part in it is so negligible or non-existent or whatever. I don't know. Or sorry, I keep saying Sanger and Meeseek. Sanger is just terrible, and Meeseek is awesome. I love Meeseek. I love his style. I love his demeanor. I love his directness. I love his shortness. I love his concreteness. Like, this man knows his job. He understands what to do and how to do it. And he's just like, whoo, whoo. Are you all right? No, you're still standing. Whoo, whoo. No, you're still standing. Oh, okay, all right, Nita. Oh, all right, sit down. We're done with you. And you're just like, damn, that's a professional at work. So next, for the second half of the day, we had Jennifer Hudson. Now, who is Jennifer Hudson? Jennifer Hudson hung out in the circles where Paul Flores was in back in 1996. So she knew Paul Flores. As soon as she takes the stand and she starts talking about 1996, and she was hanging around with skateboarders a lot, and everybody was like, I mean, the whole jury was just like this, like, oh my God, this is fascinating. Tell me more. Because she took us back in time. She took us back to 1996. Now, I was waiting for her to say, like, I knew Kristen or anything like that. She didn't say that. She didn't say I knew Kristen, but we do get a Paul Flores story, actually two of them. So here we go. This is the explosion. This is where the whole fucking courtroom went nuclear. It was almost 2 p.m. today. And she describes a day. This is on direct examination. The prosecutor is asking her questions, and she's relaying the information. And one of the things that he asks her is, do you remember your first encounter with Paul Flores? And she says, yes. Could you tell us about it? She says, well, I remember a time when I was at a party or like a gathering with a bunch of skateboarders at someone's house. And her boyfriend at the time, his nickname was Red. Kind of like Shawshank Redemption was the first thing I thought. I don't know if that's where he got it from, but when was Shawshank Redemption released? Was it like mid 90s? I can't remember. Or probably it probably came after, but it doesn't matter. So they're sitting on the couch outside, facing like the skateboard. There's like a half pipe in the back there. And Paul Flores is like, he's not there yet, but he's about to be there. Well, on the radio, they were listening to music or something. And on the radio, sometimes these commercials would come on, not advertising anything, but like saying, if you have any information about missing girl Kristen Smart, da 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 da, please let us know and help us. Here's the tip line, phone number, whatever. So Paul arrives. He sits across from um, Jennifer Hudson and Red. She said about 5 feet, so he's pretty close. And one of these commercials comes on, right? If you have any information about Kristen, please give us. And as soon as the commercial is over, Paul Flores says, "Oh, she was such a dick tease. I put or buried her under my ramp in Wasna." She couldn't remember the exact word. And the whole room fucking freezes. The prosecutor takes the longest pause. I thought that pause was going to be like 15 years long. That's how long it felt. It was like, granted, it's all hearsay. We weren't there. We don't know. I know. But it's just imagine the jury just like, you could hear them breathing. That's how quiet it was in the room. I mean, yeah, don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel. And then, the prosecutor asks her, like, what was his demeanor like? And she's like, well, he was very pale. And I could tell he wasn't joking. Like, there was no smirk. It was very sincere. It was not trying to be funny. She said, to this day, I remember his eyes. His eyes, there was like nothing alive behind his eyes when he said that, like a dead person's eyes, like something is missing. Again, objection hearsay, not like your hearsay, but like you can say anything at this point. So much has come to light, and there's a lot of discussion on cross-examination with her about the guys she dated and how interested they were in like becoming the tipsters that like break open this case, along with Chris Lambert. Like, everybody wants notoriety and fame, and it's kind of disgusting the way that the defense attorney tried to like make her look. We don't know what the truth is. We don't know anything. We can only know based on what we hear, and it's limited. But that was definitely a massive fucking bomb today. It was like, it still brings me, it makes my stomach turn just remembering that moment. It was very, very heavy. Very heavy. She said that after Paul Flores said that, her and Red left like 2 minutes later because she was, quote, creeped out, end quote. Now, 2 weeks later, she gets invited by a couple of skateboarders, because again, that's who she hung out with, skateboarders. She says that, oh, and by the way, the whole jury, again, they're just, the only way I can describe it, both on direct and on cross, is they're paying attention. They're paying attention. They're paying attention. They're paying attention. They are very interested. There is, at this point, not a hint of anybody wanting to fall asleep or tired or inattentive. The whole jury collectively is like, whoa. So 2 weeks later, she meets up with these two guys and starts following a truck, which she did not know who it belonged to. She knew like Paul drove like a green or a blue vehicle. This was a white truck. And she follows him to like a skateboard place. And as she follows them, like she lets her two passengers out as they arrive at the destination and they're about to go skateboard or whatever. She opens her door, she looks, and she sees Paul Flores walking towards her, and she said she vomits on her shoes. She gets back in the car and leaves. Now, she tried to attribute it to the fact that she was so petrified of Paul Flores and disgusted by him. She couldn't even stomach like being around him, did not like anything about him, and that was the second and last time she ever saw him during that period. The jurors are taking lots and lots and lots and lots of notes throughout this testimony. Like I said, listening very intently. Now, Sanger begins his cross-examination, and finally, for the first time in this entire trial so far for me, in 2 days, he does something right. He starts out with a banger, a fucking zinger. He comes out swinging. The first question out of his mouth is, so that's when and that's when you were doing meth with him, weren't you? And objection, relevance, like prosecutor, the judge, everybody, the whole room is like, huh, what? Meth, what? Now, I have obviously represented people who are meth users. I have seen photos of people who are meth users. The easiest telltale sign of a meth user is their lack of teeth. Like they'll usually kind of talk like this because their teeth are like so rotten and missing that they can't like do like a full smile because they'll just be like fucking black and missing. It's disgusting. That's why a lot of former meth users have lots of insecurities because they can't even have like a beautiful smile. And she gave me that impression personally. This is my own personal judgment. When she would talk like very, very pursed lips, and after she was done answering like a certain question, she would immediately like close her lips very quickly. So that's something I've noticed. It was an improper question, but the thing is about the meth, but she didn't react. Like a person who has never done that would immediately like, excuse me? Like, I have never done that, or da-da-da. Sanger knew exactly what he was doing. He set it up so that the people heard she's a meth head or whatever, former meth head, current meth head, who cares? She's a meth head. She's not to be believed. She has, fried her brain on drugs, blah, 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 blah. The damage was done. Like, I couldn't even take this woman seriously after that. Because I wasn't even thinking about it until Sanger pointed it out. So when he said, meth stuff, and she was just like, you could tell. So it implies that she was using. And then at some point, he even asks her another question. Like, she's got so many tattoos. She's covered in tattoos. Like, not her face, but she's got one around her neck, like right here. Which, if I were her, I would wear like a turtleneck or something to cover that up because it looks so ugly. She's got like a whole sleeve on this arm and a whole sleeve on this arm, and it's look, whatever. I'm not judging. People will do what they want, but she's a witness, a key witness for the prosecution's trial, for the prosecution's case. It's I don't know. It's just a little much. It's a little much. And then Sanger even asks her at one point, like, your father was a Hell's Angel, and again, objection, relevance. You're involved with the Hell's Angels, again, objection, relevance. Like, but it doesn't matter. Sanger finally is doing something right. He knows the answer doesn't matter. The question matters. You put this in the jurors' heads. Now they're thinking, okay, so she's a meth head with a Hell's Angels father. She's covered in tattoos. Can we really buy her testimony? That's it. That's all that Sanger wants, and it was accomplished. So again, even during cross-examination, the court is extremely excuse me, the jurors are extremely fascinated with everything that's happening in court. They are paying attention, even though it's like yesterday on cross, sometimes they would just like tune out. Not today. Not today. Today they were very attentive, they were very eager, they were very interested. um like, we take a break, we come back, and I mean, it's just beautiful. I mean, he is attacking her, and he's going in depth on all these on all, the whole story between her and the ex that wanted to like become famous because of this breaking open this case and all that. I don't have many notes on the jury because they didn't change today. Like yesterday, there was a lot of back and forth and back and forth, and it was very noticeable, very audible almost, to the naked eye, if that makes sense. But today, it was just very, very uniform. They were all kind of like just gravitating towards piqued interest, interested, curious, intrigued. Give me more, feed me more. Direct examination, more. Cross examination, more. This is like on the second witness, on Jennifer Hudson. The first one was kind of like I said, they were falling asleep. That one was a miss. But the second one, they were just like boom, 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 boom. Give me more, give me more, give me more. So yeah, I already came up with titles. I will be releasing the other 6 videos on the crime, excuse me, the trial video that you saw today. People have been asking, and I don't know how else to like popularize this. Yeah, we're done with the Kristen Smart stuff. Sorry. I will not be back Monday, which is when court resumes. There is no court tomorrow. But I may come back at some point. I kind of regret not going to the Alex Jones trial. I regret not going to the Alex Jones trial. I think that would have been fascinating. I might do Danny Masterson. He's the guy from the ranch. His trial starts next month. Daybell's start in January, and then Murdoch will start, and then we're going to have Kevin Spacey in June in the UK. There's like all this stuff happening. So I don't know. We'll see. I know, Anna. Sometimes I say things that like make sense in my head, but I listen with my eyes. If that, I don't know. I know it may not make any sense. I swear I was not on MDMA while I was in court. Isn't it? No, was it ecstasy? No, there's a drug that makes you. No, wait, acid. It's acid. Acid makes you hear colors and see sounds, right? I think it's acid. I'm going to Alcatraz this weekend. I have not gone to Alcatraz yet, as I've been busy with this case. But yeah, so what's happening on the Western Front? We are going to be releasing the entire trial. This is the trial I lost. I tweeted about it. This is the one where we didn't get the verdict we wanted. People keep asking, like, what was the verdict? What was the verdict? What was the verdict? Well, I'm not going to, like, highlight it. Oh, and by the way, this is the one where they found her guilty. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to, like, highlight that. I already tweeted about it. Connect the dots, fam. Like, I know not everybody follows me on both platforms. I get it. I understand. But at the end of the day, I'm going to continue releasing pieces of that trial and then putting it together in a playlist. So that's going to be over the next few days. Kristen Smart, we are done with for now. By the way, I need to put it in the proper playlist rather, excuse me. So lots of good stuff coming. We're also going to be doing Curious George this weekend. Now, don't ask me what day, but it will be Saturday or Sunday. Probably Sunday, because I'm flying out Monday. But yeah. If y'all want to hang out, I'm in San Francisco, so holla at your boy. Holla at your boy. Um, it'll be Saturday or Sunday. I don't know yet. Yeah, Curious George. Okay, you guys are loving this. I love the fact that you're loving it. That's awesome. What's suitcase murder? I have no idea what you're talking about, to be completely honest. Suitcase murder. Sounds like a lot of fun. Were they murdered by a suitcase? Has this suitcase been apprehended? Has the suitcase been tracked down and arrested? Is that a suitcaside? I said that, yeah. I will. Oh, and by the way, speaking of the UK, rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth II. You have reigned for what feels like eternity. Twice my age, more than twice my existence. Like, that's kind of crazy to think about. You were 26 when you took the throne, and you reigned for the last 70 years, and you were 96 when you passed earlier today. I don't understand why some people are like giving me and other Americans shit for, like, she's like, we seceded from the fucking England. Stop being kind to English people. What? How fucking insecure are you? You're like, you're an American. You live in America. You're not supposed to be saying nice things about the fucking British, man. This fucking country does not take kindly to fucking Britons and shit. Like, come on, man. This is very un-American of you. I disagree. It is absolutely okay to feel sympathy for a deceased queen in another country without having, like, I didn't swear allegiance to her and because I said may she rest in peace. Yeah. Like, are you kidding me? Why is my British accent Texan? No, that was the Texan being mad that I am speaking kindly about the Queen of England. Anyway, all right, this the Larry is dying the death of 1,000 razors. It's been a very eventful day. I need rest, you guys. I'm exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally drained. But it was fun. I'm still glad I came. No pun intended. I'm glad. That's such a stupid joke. So glad you came. Remember that song? It was fun. I learned a lot. I learned about mainstream media. I once again am reminded when you're even when you're not even when you are wearing a suit and tie. Aw. Fuck you, drama. I love you. Whoever you are, you you just keep doing you, man. You just keep, or woman. Whatever. All right, on this note, I'll talk to you guys later. See you this weekend. Bye.